Hello, this is Chris from Team Phoenix and welcome to the channel. If you are new, then please, may I ask, just please hit the subscribe button. YouTube tells me that a lot of people that are watching our videos aren't subscribed to the channel, so it would just do us a real favor if you wouldn't mind just hitting the subscribe button and also hit the bell to receive all future notifications. So today's video is a very interesting case which is now just going through the trial and is for the murder of Kathleen Dawn West, 42 years old, aka Cat West, and she was murdered back in January of 2018. She's originally from Tampa, Florida, and she also lived in Georgia with her husband, who you can see in the images, Jeff West, and they married in 2004 before they moved to their home in Alabama. It's in a Birmingham suburb of Calera, and they moved there in 2015. I understand it's in the Greenwood Circle area, and it's a home that they both helped build together, and they shared with their daughter, who at the time, 2018, was just 12 years old. Now, on social media, on Facebook, Kat describes herself as a full-time wife and mummy, and she's said to have idolized Marilyn Monroe, the American actress, of course, and screen sensation. As you can see from her kind of images, she was taking, or she liked to take, risque and revealing photos, and there's a reason for that, and I'll go into that in a moment, and possibly that's maybe why this case has grabbed quite large media attention. So as I say, it's now nearly 3 years later that the trial has begun this week, and it's the husband, Jeff West, who stands accused of murdering his wife back on January 12th, 2018. The story goes is that Kat's body was found the following day on January the 13th. She was found partially nude and lying dead just outside their house, just across the street from their Calera home in Alabama. She had blood coming from her head. She was lying face down, and she was wearing just a push-up kind of sports bra. Now, the cause of death was registered as blunt force trauma to the head. Just a few feet from her body, they found her mobile phone, and placed on top of her mobile phone was a green bottle of absinthe, and it had blood on it. Now, her death was immediately treated as a homicide, as suspicious, and it's believed that she was struck over the head with that bottle. However, since this happened, there's apparently been very little information regarding her death since the body was discovered. But now the trial has begun this week. This is when information has started to filter through. So as I was saying, Kathleen touted herself as a stay-at-home, full-time wife and mum, but she also led what some might lead to believe is a second life. She ran a subscription-only website where she went by the name Kitty Cat West, and she also had Instagram and Twitter accounts of the same name, as you can see here, which I'm just scrolling through. As you can see from her Facebook account, she did like to take revealing and risque images of herself, and she did direct viewers towards her paid adult website on onlyfans.com, where people could subscribe, a monthly subscription of $15.99, and they would receive these kind of revealing and risque images of Cat. As I understand, there were no naked images or anything like that, but the kind of image here just gives you an idea really of the kind of images that she would take and give to paying subscribers. Interestingly, this picture here was actually taken the day that she was murdered, on the 12th of January 2018 in Calera, when they presume she was in her home, and it just says Happy Frisky Friday. Now, there was surveillance image or footage that was soon after discovered. It was taken from a nearby R&R wine liquor store in Calera, and it is believed to be the last time that Kat was ever seen alive. And I'll play that for you now, and we'll just talk about it in a second.
This is the last time stay-at-home mom Kathleen West was seen alive. Surveillance footage obtained exclusively by Inside Edition shows the beautiful woman shopping and laughing inside a liquor store 8 hours before she was found dead.
Female in the roadway, naked, CPR no longer in progress, female not breathing.
So interestingly there, that footage was taken on the evening of the 12th. It was. And as you can see in that video, she's seen shopping in that store, buying alcohol. And this was about 8 hours before she was discovered deceased. She was in the store with a man that appears to be her husband. I don't know whether or not that's been confirmed either way. But she seemed happy. She was smiling, laughing. And the liquor store clerk that rung up Kat and her husband said that they came in. It looked like they were on a date night. They bought a bottle of Jameson whiskey and a bottle of Lucid absinthe and made their purchase and went on their way. Everything seemed normal. Now, of course, absinthe was the bottle that was found with blood on next to her body. Of course, this sounds like a very cut and dry case, I suppose you would say. But interestingly, her mother and family, and of course Jeff's family, are all very much in support of Jeff. They refuse to believe that he would ever have had anything to do with it. Interesting. Kat's body was found the next morning, as I say, on the 13th of January 2018, about 5 a.m. by a 19-year-old neighbour who was on her way to work. She was wearing, as I said before, just a sports bra. The cell phone that she had was just nearby with the bottle of absinthe on top of it. And the witness said that, that looked completely staged. How did that bottle end up right on top of her phone? The bottle had blood on it. And the neighbour also stated that her husband, Jeff West, was not acting right. When he saw his wife's body, his demeanour was off. It was odd. She said it was very odd. He walked out like it didn't even matter to him. And the witness's father, neighbour's father, who was also came out to be by her side, backed up that sentiment. He said that Jeff walked outside as he checked on his wife and said, "What's going on? That's my wife." When he was told his wife was dead, he reportedly put his cigarette out in the street and walked back inside. He didn't cry, didn't show any facial expressions, according to this witness. So like I say, it just sounds when you read all that like a cut and dry case. But Kathleen's family have come out in full support of Jeff, which just seems strange to me. Now, Jeff West, the husband, he's a former Birmingham Southern College campus security officer and US Army vet. He was off duty at the time. He was taken into custody at his home about a month later in February 2018, and he's been held in the Shelby County Jail ever since on a $500,000 bond. Despite protests from his lawyer, who has contended that Jeff is being illegally detained and unlawfully denied liberty by the excessive bail amount, Jeff maintains his innocence. So in this week's trial, Jeff's attorney has said that text messages expected to be introduced as evidence were simply words exchanged and did not include any threats of violence between Jeff and his wife. He stated that not only is there no evidence of an argument on the night that Kat died, evidence shows that they had an enjoyable date that same night. The two went home, where the defendant took pictures of his wife in a sexy bra and panties and 6-inch heels. So jury selection began on Monday. Opening statements were Tuesday, I think, and the trial has been going on this week. Now, the Shelby County Assistant DA, Daniel McBrayer, said that prosecutors will offer as evidence of intent and motive for the murder charge numerous text messages between Jeff and his wife, evidencing frequent arguments between the two. These messages are contained in the forensic download of the couple's phones. Now, Jeff's attorney has also asked for the questioning of potential jurors to determine their suitability to serve on a jury, to include questioning to determine whether any of the jurors are members of social media groups that were launched to discuss Cat West's death. According to that request, there were at least two groups on Facebook, one based in Calera that had 4,600 members, and another was based in Alabama. The defense attorney also wanted the jurors questioned as to whether they were subscribers to OnlyFans.com, of course, where her subscription service was, or were Instagram friends with the victim. If so, they said that they should be prohibited from serving on the jury. Now, as I was saying, Kat's mother, and you can see her here on the right with the pink top, and that's Jeff's mother on the left. She believes that her son-in-law is not guilty of killing her daughter. After the judge denied Jeff's request to reduce his £500,000 bond, she made that statement. Speaking publicly for the first time since her daughter's death, she came out and said that her daughter was an alcoholic and prone to binge drinking and also suffered from bipolar disorder. She said that she believes that her daughter died from a fall. She said that her daughter fell all the time, would also get drunk and jump on the trampoline or take off her clothes. She said he didn't do this. He's a good man. He loved her with all his heart. And that just seems strange to me. That seems strange to me that the victim's mother would come out and talk her daughter down like that, her murdered daughter, the victim, and at the same time support the prime suspect, her husband. I know he's a son-in-law, and she probably is in disbelief that he could ever do something like that. But he was the last known person to see Kathleen, and so that just seems strange to me. Now, the Shelby County Chief Assistant DA said it was Kathleen's blood that was found on that bottle near her body, and crucially, the bottle only had one set of fingerprints on it. And guess whose they are? Yes, they are Jeff West, her husband. Now, Jeff's father and Kathleen's mother both testified on his behalf, saying that they would do whatever they could to help him. Jeff and his daughter, of course their daughter, stayed with Kat's mum until Jeff was arrested. She said, "I trust him with my whole heart." Both mothers are said to be attached at the hip, and they both say that Kat's blood alcohol level was extremely high at the time of her death. Neither believe that her online exhibitionism was a factor. Jeff's mum said he wasn't jealous, he knew she was sick and needed the attention. That's what she claimed. Kat's mum also went on to say she was not aware of her daughter's life until after her death, so she didn't know about any of the online photos and the subscription service that she was providing. But she did say she wasn't surprised. She said that Kat was very insecure and always had been. She wanted everyone to think that she was beautiful, but nothing could make her think Jeff is guilty. She even said if there was video of the death showing him killing her, she would think that it was doctored. It just seems strange to me. This is a strange case. Jeff continues to claim he's being illegally detained and unlawfully denied liberty by the excessive bail amount. His attorney also states that Jeff poses no real and present danger to others, himself or the public at large if he was allowed to be released. Jeff's attorney went on to say the main purpose of bond historically is to ensure the presence of the accused in court to address the charges registered against him. It should not be used as a punishment. Jeff apparently is looking forward to defending himself at the trial. He insisted he was aware of his wife's online career and it never was a problem for him. There is absolutely no evidence that he is a flight risk. He was honourably discharged from the army after 21 years of service. He has no criminal record. He was gainfully employed up until his arrest. He has strong ties to the community and he has a strong desire to clear his name. He apparently is heartbroken over the death of his wife and the disruption that this case has caused his family. And he is mostly concerned about his daughter and how the loss of her mother is affecting her. Now, many theories came from online forums, which I mentioned before. These groups get set up and they get attached to these cases, and people obviously like to web sleuth. And many theories have surfaced, including one, a potential fan or stalker who knew Kat online could have murdered her out of jealousy. Maybe someone could have seen that her husband was apparently taking a hunting trip that weekend and took Kat by surprise in her home. I don't know much about that one. I don't know about this hunting trip. She could have gotten drunk and fallen. I mean, that's even what her mother's claiming, resulting in a terrible accident. Or did her husband do this? And is he somehow trying to cover it up? One thing people couldn't help notice, and I'll leave you on this point, is that Jeff, the husband, removed his Facebook account less than a week after his wife's body was discovered. So is he trying to hide something? Or was he being attacked? Was he being trolled? People calling him guilty. Difficult to know at this stage how this is going to go, but this is a case that I'm going to keep an eye on. I'm going to be following the trial to see what happens, and I will let you know as soon as I know anything. But it's an interesting one. I'll be interested to hear what you think. Is Jeff, the husband, guilty or is he innocent? And if he is, then who killed his wife? Who killed Kat West? Or was it an accident? Did Kat fall and hit her head because she had been drinking?